See, I'm trying to think other things I liked. I did like the way it was photographed. I mean, it looked great on film again. And the way it looked was cool. I think it was handled well. Nothing really wrong about that. It looked good. And yeah, it looked good. It was funny. I mean, I admit it was funny. It wasn't a bad movie-going experience by any means. But the thing is, I'm not praising this movie as much as so many people out there are. I think they're praising it for the wrong reasons. It's almost like when I hear reviews and see things like that. Like I'll watch some movie channels like that Chris Stuckman guy reviews movies, and then Collider videos and things like that. I mean, it's like I think they're getting it wrong in some ways. It's almost like they can't admit to themselves that, hey, this really is not a great movie. And I don't even think it's a very good Star Wars movie. If you look at it, here's the reason too. They had all this time. I mean, but the problem is, I think this movie was rushed. Well, they just bought Lucasfilm in 2012, right? And now it's 2015. The movie's already out, and I felt like it was rushed. Plus, you could tell the script was written in a studio. The board members at Disney and people, they're the ones who are writing this fucking script. That's really what happened. I mean, this is pretty much a corporate screenplay right here. And all you had was J.J. Abrams and Lawrence Kasdan pretty much doing the dialogue and things like that. But it was a corporate movie all the way. Yeah, the movie it took no risks. It played it totally safe. And it's obvious they had to kill Han Solo off because you don't want to pay Harrison Ford big bucks through a whole trilogy here. That's part of the reason too. But of course there are rumors saying, oh, Harrison wanted to die in Return of the Jedi and stuff. That's fine. But I think the real reason they killed him now just because, well, it did fit the story, I'll put it that way, but it did. But yeah, thinking about Harrison Ford and Han Solo's death, the whole scene, it was like it was set. It was like telegraphed, right? It just, you knew it was coming, even if you didn't know it was coming. You could see it was coming. It was like when he all of a sudden he sees Kylo Ren walking, and then he just walks out there after him. Then the music goes down. It gets quiet. You have the characters Chewie and Rey and Finn are looking down. Oh, you just knew he's gonna die. Come on, you knew it. It was like, God, I'm trying to think of the movie where it was done just like that. I can't remember right now. I'm thinking about something, but it's like the whole direction of this movie was just done to play it safe. I mean, it was almost like it was made by amateurs in a way, though. And yes, as I already said a few times, I don't want to rag on this movie based on the little flaws that it has. I mean, I call them movie flaws. Things the characters have to do, the things that have to happen by coincidence to make the story work. However, here are some of the things I really just didn't like, because it was a boardroom screenplay is what it was. The new Starkiller Death Star base, I never would have thought they would have brought something like that back. I'm like, come on. I never thought they would go that. That's like a slap in the face, really, if you think about it. You're bringing back another Death Star. Even when they brought back the Death Star in Return of the Jedi, we were like, what? But you accepted it. It was cool because it wasn't finished yet. So that was kind of cool about it. It looked different, at least. That was the thing. Plus, the way they destroyed it was different. And they didn't. And plus, what they did with that movie too, they added a different element to it. They had to take the shields down before they could get in there to do it. So they added something to that. So yes, it was similar but different. The way it was destroyed, and the way they destroyed this new Death Star Starkiller base was stupid. I mean, the way they knocked the shields down was, oh, let's just go hijack Captain Phasma, just kidnap Captain Phasma and make Captain Phasma turn the shields off. That was that's stupid. The rule of a good action adventure movie is you never give your characters anything. You don't just give them handouts like that. What would have made that sequence cool, it would have added something to it. Say they had a battle inside the base and Phasma was part of it. You had to battle Captain Phasma. Something going on there. There was a fight scene to get to the control room to disable the shields. That's how you do it. You make the characters earn something. You don't just you just grab Captain Phasma and put a gun to Captain Phasma's head and she'll turn the shields off for you. Easy. Then make a joke. Is there a garbage compactor or whatever? Throw her in there or whatever. It's like that whole scene was dumb. It was too easy. You're giving your characters something for free, which is like a rule. That's what you don't do in a good action movie. You look at like Raiders of the Lost Ark, man, he had to earn that shit all the way through the things that were happening. That's one of the good action adventure movies right there. And Return of the Jedi, even though they had to earn it, they had to fight and win that battle on Endor to get the shields down. And that's what made that whole ending different than the first Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, it was just a lot different. And yeah, the battle on Starkiller Base with the X-Wings flying around, that was the most boring, like shit battle in the history of Star Wars, I think. That was boring. It was just a bunch of ships flying around. You didn't get any sense of like where you were really. You didn't get a sense of urgency. Nothing was really happening. It was just them firing away at random shit or some oscillator, they called it. I mean, it would have been better. You should have made it where they had to make a pinpoint shot. Maybe they had to blow up something, and then they could fly inside. That would have been something cool. Maybe Poe Dameron makes this incredible shot or something, like Luke did in the first movie. That would have been cool, right? Like I said, you don't just give your character something. Make them do something spectacular to win the fight. To destroy the base. They should have done something like that. Make them earn their way to put the shields down, then make them earn a way to blow the planet up. Not just randomly shooting at shit. Oh, shoot, Chewie, he made a hole. They planted explosive. No, there's a big hole there. As they said in the movie Poe Dameron, there's a hole there. Hit it with everything you got. They just start shooting away at it, and all of a sudden it works. And how many ships were there? It's like the TIE fighter pilots can't fly for shit, right? It's like so stupid. They're dumb. I mean, I'm ragging on it. Really, these are script things. These are things that they didn't think about. It's a stupid thing. That's why the movie to me it's not going to hold up. It's not going to stand the test of time, this movie, because I'm not going to be able to watch this movie over and over again. And I still watch the original Star Wars movies. Not the special editions, but I have the original versions. And I still watch those movies. I mean, every once in a while, at least once a year, I'll watch the trilogy again. And it's just done. It's done in a better way. I mean, this movie there's nothing memorable about this movie. The only thing that really keeps it going are the good characters. That's really it. They have some funny moments in there, but the action scenes they're god awful. I mean, when the First Order attacks the Maz Kanata's like castle, whatever the hell that is, it's like there's nothing going on. I mean, they're just blowing shit up, whatever you hear, or whatever. Who's really fighting against the First Order? You have Han, Chewie, and Finn. That's pretty much it. I mean, didn't like another stormtrooper see Finn fight that stormtrooper? Why didn't you just fucking shoot Finn? There's so many things that you could talk about. That it was just a boring action sequence. Nothing was happening there. But I admit that was kind of cool seeing Finn fight the stormtrooper with the lightsaber. That was pretty cool. But nothing was going on there. Then all of a sudden the Resistance just shows up and there's a fight and they start blowing, just winning the fight. Of course, the stupidity too, when you watch the thing again, look closely, you see the precision of, I think maybe it is Poe Dameron who shoots. There are like a couple stormtroopers standing next to Han Solo, and Poe Dameron can pick their asses off. He just shoots them. Like, must be the best, not just the best pilot, but he has the best aim ever in the history of any movie, really. I mean, like the laser blast from an X-Wing, they're powerful enough to like blow up a ship. So when the laser blasts from the X-Wings hit the stormtroopers, wouldn't they just fucking blow into pieces or something? It hits them in their shoulder or something, they just fall dead, nothing happens. I mean, you think there would be just some kind of huge eruption when they get hit by the things. It's like, it doesn't. Little things like that. I mean, that doesn't make the movie bad. I'm just pointing little things out. The movie is full of stupid shit. that I think people are just overlooking way too much. But I'm still not ragging on the movie. I'm just pointing out certain things like that. But I mean, the big thing to take away from this, yes, I enjoyed the movie. I did. But this movie is, like I said, it's not going to hold up. It's not going to be looked at, when you look back at it 10, 20 years from now, you're not going to think The Force Awakens is one of the best Star Wars movies. You're not going to think that. Because there's nothing really memorable about this movie. Not at all. And I really don't want to see it again. I mean, I will when it comes like on Blu-ray or downloadable online in an HD version. I'll watch it again for sure. I'll watch it drunk. That might help it again, but yeah, little things. I keep talking about things like, yeah, my main thing is the prequels might have had a lot of problems. Lucas is not he's not good with dialogue. He's not good at directing actors. Things like that. Things that a lot of people don't agree with. I'm not going to get into detail about the prequels, but I will say this, though. The action scenes in the prequels were handled by a once brilliant filmmaker. He still, when he made the prequels, he was still a brilliant visual movie maker, George Lucas was. There were great sequences in The Phantom Menace that were like cinematic, and the John Williams music was just great. That's another thing about The Force Awakens I did not like. It felt like John Williams was going through the motions. The music in this movie was like not... there was like one theme in the movie, like near the end of it when the Falcon's flying towards the island where Luke is. That music was kind of cool, but overall, the music wasn't that good in this movie. But back to the prequels, though. Yeah, let's just forget the problems. Yeah, the dumb dialogue, the stupid fucking love story, a lot of stupid shit. Like when they're walking around, you can see the Mr. Plinkett guy does the reviews on all the prequels. He gets a lot of things right, but he gets a lot of things wrong too. Lucas, what he did right with the Phantom Menace, so the ending of the Phantom Menace was really spectacular. It was done in true Star Wars fashion, like Return of the Jedi. You had the space battle going on, you had the battle on Endor, you had Luke with the Emperor and Vader. All those three things, it cut together perfectly. It was like a perfect web of movie making, and that's what the Phantom Menace had too. You had 4 separate things going on that were great. You had, of course, Amidala trying to get into the Viceroy. You had the Jedi battle going on. You had the space battle going on. Then you had the Gungans out there fighting. I mean, even though the Gungan fight was pretty kiddie, it was still executed. There were certain moments of that, like when the battle droids come out of those tanker things. That was cool looking. It had a lot of cool stuff in there, even though parts of it were stupid. And the Jedi fight was awesome. Who could say that wasn't awesome? It was cool. Even though you might not have liked the characters or cared about them or whatever, it was executed brilliantly is the way it was done. And same thing with Attack of the Clones. I mean, that movie, a lot of stupid shit in there. But it had a lot of cool stuff in there too. The Jango Fett Obi-Wan fight was pretty cool. I mean, the ending had some cool stuff in there. People rag on the lightsaber duel at the end, but I thought it was kind of cool. It was different. It was dark, and it had drama to it too. So, and Revenge of the Sith had a lot of action in there too. But this movie, it just had no memorable action scenes. The Force Awakens was dull in that regard. It's almost like things just happened too easily for the characters.